So we want to be a master of our actions, not a prisoner of our reactions. And this is something that, Seafood Brown says this all the time, but it's also, if you've ever read Viktor Frankl's book, Meaning. Yes. Then that also has this idea of being able to control our reactions to whatever it is our external environment is providing for us. And yeah, I can speak louder, of course, yeah. And then another idea to kind of like bring into this, I'm working on bringing all of this in together here. So if we know anything about ancient Greek wisdom and sort of like the modern science of what it is to have a wonderful life, then two words come to mind, and that's arete and to flourish, and they really mean the same thing, and that is to be living our best selves moment to moment to moment. And what those two philosophies point to is that living from a virtuous mean is something that we want to strive for in life. So which really means living from the center. We don't want to be in a deficiency of any virtue. We don't want to be in an excess of any virtue. So what's an example of this? Say we take courage, right? If we are in a deficiency of courage, then we're timid. We go about life too timid to do anything. We don't take any risks. We don't try anything new. We live a small life. And then what's the excess? Perhaps it's rashness, where you have not enough aversion to risk and you go out and do stuff that's, kind of dangerous. You also may not live a full life because it might be very short. So what was it like when you came in for your first martial arts class? Were you timid? Were you rash? Or did you just have courage? Somewhere in the middle ground. So if we think about all of the virtues that are important in life, like wisdom, for instance, what are you if you don't have enough wisdom? Well, you're a fool. You don't, you're maybe an idiot. There's no thought to what it is that you're doing. There's no wiseness there. What are you if you have too much of that virtue or an excess? Perhaps you're a know-it-all or you're arrogant, and that doesn't come across well either. So when we look for the virtuous mean, we look for the wiseness, we look for the courage, we look for discipline and love, we look for all of those virtuous means we can come from the center. Checking my notes here. So, and I just realized I forgot to read this. When is this going to come in? Okay. So, to get to our center, we have our physical center, where all movement comes from our center. It allows us, it gives us power, it gives us flow in our physical movements. And we strive for this, obviously, in Tai Chi and Kung Fu and any of the martial arts. And we strive for this in our everyday lives too. Sifu tells this really great story of him when he was learning Tai Chi. And if you haven't been in Tai Chi, you may not have heard this story. So he was talking about learning to move from his center and, doing in class, stroke his tail, yeah, I've got that, yeah, I've got that, yeah, ward off, yeah, I've got that, yeah, I'm moving from my center, this is all great. And then one day he went home and he opened his fridge door and he was like, whoa, I just moved from my center. And the opening of the door was easy and effortless. And it wasn't just him, moving his arm. He was really moving his whole body to help him open the fridge door. So when we do move from our center, our movement becomes easier. It's easier. So then we also have an emotional center, right? When all of our emotions come from virtues, from the virtuous mean, and then we experience life also with more power and flow in our emotional life. And then perhaps there's also a spiritual center, somewhere between being a non-believer in any higher power and somewhere between being a religious zealot, some middle ground. Maybe enlightenment lives here. I don't really know about that part. And this is the Buddhist idea of the middle way. So if all movement comes from our center, what does that mean? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. When we think about our whole being, what does coming from our center mean? And I have a little short excerpt here from Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Shunryu Suzuki. He says, knowing that your life is short, to enjoy it day after day, moment after moment, is the life of form is form and emptiness is emptiness. When Buddha comes, you will welcome him. When the devil comes, you will welcome him. The famous Chinese Zen master Baso said, sun-faced Buddha and moon-faced Buddha. When he was ill, someone asked him, how are you? And he answered, sun-faced Buddha and moon-faced Buddha. That is the life of form is form and emptiness is emptiness. There is no problem. 1 year of life is good. 100 years of life are good. If you continue your practice, you will attain this stage. So, allowing yourself to be in the center of who you are, in the center of your whole self, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual. I think that points to form is form. And form is form and emptiness is emptiness. And allowing that to lead us into the middle way and being centered. So with that, we're going to sit and do a short meditation. As Sam will get the lights for us. And you can choose to sit however you'd like to sit on your zazen, on your zafu. I like to kneel because it's easier and my feet don't go to sleep. You're going to have your hands around about where the fold in your thighs are. Allow your spine to be straight, your chin parallel to the floor, your eyes closed, slightly upturned. And you're going to focus on your breath as you let go of any worries, concerns, or cares. Be here now, and we'll start with a few breaths together. Start with all the breath out. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. One more. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale and end with a double exhale. Now just allow the breath to come in naturally and to go out naturally. And as thoughts enter your mind, let them pass on through. Bring your awareness and your focus back to the breath.